Hello, I am Richard Weitz, a senior fellow at the Hudson Institute and director of the Center for Political and Military Analysis here. I'm here to talk about the quote-unquote naval exercises that took place between Russia and Iran on July 28th, July 29th. There was some speculation both in the analytical community that these exercises might mark a major change in Russian-Iranian relations. Possibility of a new alignment between the two countries, strengthening of ties, particularly in the military realm. And this resulted from an Iranian press release that said that these exercises would involve 30 ships, helicopters, and it made it sound like a very extensive drill. In actual fact, though, it turned out this was very much an Iranian affair. Of the 30 vessels, only one came from Russia. In addition, the Russian news agency put out a quote from the Russian Navy saying that none of its ships were involved, that the only ship present was actually belonged to the Ministry of Emergency Situations. And all they were doing was training to respond to an accident, an oil spill, a search and rescue mission. So this is, again, a symbol that Russian-Iranian relations remain very complex. There's some areas of cooperation, many areas of tension. The Caspian Sea, in particular, has been a long-standing source of tension between the two countries. They basically disagree over how to divide the undersea oil and gas resources of the Caspian. Of the 5 littoral states, 3 of them want to arrange it so that the proportions that each country can receive is going to correspond to the shoreline. So that would leave Russia, Kazakhstan, and Azerbaijan, the 3 countries that most favor this, with the largest shares. Iran, on the other hand, backed by Turkmenistan, wants to divide the shares evenly. Iran's northern Caspian shores doesn't have much oil and gas, so they want to have an equal division. And this has been a long-standing dispute that the countries have been unable to solve, and this recent quote-unquote exercise, or really training drill, doesn't mark any resolution of this. And in fact, Iran is now in the process of sending out a deep drilling drill that will be going towards outside of Iranian waters into the deep Caspian, which may stoke further tensions. There's already been confrontations between Iran and Azerbaijan about the territorial boundary. More generally, Russian-Iranian relations remain troubled on multiple levels. The Iranians are upset that the Russians have not completed construction of Bushehr nuclear reactor, it's been dragging on several years past its planned completion date. The Russians have not delivered the S-300 air defense missiles that the Iranians have supposedly purchased but are still awaiting delivery, primarily because the Obama administration and Israel have warned that such a step might provoke them to launch an airstrike to destroy the Bushehr and related nuclear facilities before the air defenses take place. Most recently, the elections have had an interesting effect. In Iran, as we know, the opposition reformers and the Iranian government differ on many things. Russians are viewed as being, at least by the Iranian opposition, as being supportive of the government. They rapidly re-endorse Ahmadinejad's re-election. The Iranian opposition blogs and websites say that the Russians are providing sophisticated internet control technology to the Iranian government. They've been training the Iranians in various repressive techniques. And so this is something that the protesters have used to rally around the cry of, instead of death to America, now you hear death to Russia more often as their refrain. But even the Iranian establishment, the clerical regime, is very suspicious of Russia. There's a general feeling that the Russians actually want to perpetuate tensions between Russia and the West, Iran and the West, since it allows the Russians to basically maintain something of a monopoly along with the Chinese over economic involvement with Iran. Only Russia is supplying nuclear technology to Iran. It's one of the main business partners of the country. Iranian oil and gas is only limited access to international markets, which allows Russia to maintain very higher prices and a dominant position in the international oil market. More generally, Russia benefits from being able to pretend to serve as a mediator between Russia and the United States, Iran and the United States. But I think people in Washington are becoming wise that the problem is not that Russia is not putting enough pressure on Iran. The problem is that Russia, even if it demanded that the Iranians stop their nuclear program or end their missile testing or make other changes in policies, the Iranian government wouldn't follow Russia's demand any more than it's followed the demands of the international community of the United States. So in general, the Iranian-Russian relationship has some elements of cooperation. I think they both want to prevent accidents, for example, in the oil rigs in the Caspian Sea, but it's very conflictual. And so I think we, at least in the United States, don't have much to worry about with that relationship in the near term. Thank you.